I, 67M, discovered my wife, 67F, is in another relationship. Advice? A couple of months ago, I discovered that my wife of 30 years, 2 kids, is in a very odd relationship. The other man had nude and partially nude photos of her from 40 years ago on his Facebook page, as well as love poems. She has been sending him emails and phoning him almost daily, telling him how much she loves him and wants to be with him, and talking about multiple rendezvous at a cabin. Our marriage flips the routine stereotype. I'm the touchy-feely one, and she is the strong, silent type. It took weeks to get much information out of her. What I gradually learned is that she lived with this man in her 20s, heard last spring that he was dying of cancer, and contacted him. He lives a few hours away and is happily married with kids. The relationship is almost entirely fantasy fiction. They have only met once and his wife was there. They seem to living out a fantasy about what would have happened to their relationship if they had stayed together. Me and his wife don't exist in this fiction. My wife, who is a very stable and rational person, insists that she has done nothing wrong and that this other relationship is of no threat to our relationship. She behaves entirely normally with me if I do so with her. She and the other man do not want to be together. The fictional relationship is not sexual, but is very physical, fictionally. After weeks of this, I gave her an ultimatum, and she ignores it. She agreed to go to counseling with me, and then backed out, so I went alone. We are both recently retired, comfortable financially, in very good health, and I thought we were set for a peaceful retirement. After 2 months, my feelings are still all over the map. I have always felt that the relationship was more important to me than to her, and I suspect that if I carry through with the ultimatum, our marriage will be over. At 67, the dating scene is terrifying for me, and I don't really want to be on my own.
The first thing you should do is a full financial review to make sure she isn't being conned into giving him money. The second thing you should do is insist on a medical checkup focusing on cognitive health. Then if she is healthy and knows what she is doing, decide whether you want a non-monogamous marriage or a divorce.
Yes, the financial advice is good. Both the counselor and a doctor suggested manipulation. She insists she is being rational and having declined counseling and cognitive health check is not going to happen.
If it were me, I'd tell her that going to counseling with me and participating is mandatory. If she doesn't show up or participate, then I'm filing divorce papers. The things that you have to understand are, you can file for divorce and decide to drop the divorce at any point before the judge rules. In order to negotiate, you need a base of power. That is, you need to be able to make a threat you intend to carry out if you can't reach an agreement. And you have to make sure she doesn't want to get divorced at least as much as you don't, so she's going to go for some other agreement that she finds preferable to divorcing. Your wife is hurting you by having this fictional affair with her ex. This is disrespectful of her and is breaking her vows. Even if it's just an emotional affair, she's still giving her emotional support to this guy, and it's still an affair. It's still cheating. You need to get her into counseling so she can finally see how wrong she is and see how she's hurting you with her behavior.